from 0 to 7.9 million in traffic in 1.5 months. That's exactly what OreateAI achieved with blogs that are looking like this. So today we're going to go over exactly what they've done, how they did, and how they achieved this result, right? So we're going to give you the playbook at the end of all this as well that you can follow. So if you want to skip ahead, you can go skip ahead, but let's just dig into OreateAI and what they did. Now, I found OreateAI through Daniel Meyerson, and he says, does anyone remember Askinglot? And Askinglot was basically this website in 2021, which would post mass-generated ChatGPT content based on people also ask questions. Now, as you can see, they were posting very little, and then they went up to 90 to 100,000, 200,000, 400,000, and then eventually 550,000 pages at their peak and generated 3 million in traffic. And now we have OreateAI, who's sitting at 8.2 million in traffic. It even updated as I've gone throughout the day and analyzed their website, and they're sitting at way more pages and obviously scaling a lot further. And Daniel said, does anybody remember Askinglot? Mass AI content, getting millions of visitors. The 2022 update basically then killed it. And now he's seeing something similar. OreateAI, they went from 20,000 visitors in December to 23 million in January. And that's according to SEMrush. Now, Ahrefs is telling a different story, so we don't really know. But they're basically a SaaS where you can craft slides or texts or CVs. But if we're looking at it, it's not good. I tried it myself and I played around with it a bit, and it's not a good solution, right? It just creates essays. And what's even crazier is that the results are not coming from people generating stuff. They are writing these things or automating these pages that on their blog themselves. So yeah, let's jump and straight into their traffic data. Sitting at 8.2 million, pretty crazy. If we're looking at their site structure, all of that traffic is coming from their blog. That's basically their whole thing. And it's pretty crazy to see that they managed to succeed so well. A big reason to their success, from what it looks like, is that they were using a method which is called the SEO Avalanche technique. Now, obviously, they're doing a lot of different things as well. They're using an expired domain. They had some incredibly powerful backlinks come into their website. But apart from that, there's a few things that are standing out, and we'll get to that, but it doesn't make sense why they are fully ranking. It's mostly a part of luck to some degree as well, which is like insane to see, because we haven't had a website that posts this amount of spam in a long time. But if we're looking at the amount of pages that they published, we can see in December, they published 1 page. Thursday on the 4th, they published 30. And they quickly started to ramp it up. 200 pages more, 197 pages more, 188 pages. Then it did 3,000 pages. Now there's 3,800 pages, 10,000 pages, 5,000 pages. Insanity. And they keep on going, adding more and more and more. And if we're looking at their overview, right, and we can go into the last 6 months, we can see they started organic pages, 100. So the SEO Avalanche technique is what we're going to talk about here, is that it basically goes over that the more traffic you have, the more eligible you are to rank for higher quality terms, right? So you have level 0, which is 0 to 10 in traffic, which is basically means that you would then be able to rank for keywords that are within this range. Now, I'm not a full believer in this, because I believe that you can absolutely be a new page and rank for these type of keywords as well. But it basically, we're looking at the Avalanche technique. Now, they did have an expired domain. Their website is DR67, which is insane. And they're done really well for themselves. And if we're looking at the frequency, it kind of goes over into Core's framework as well. It's like publish a mass amount of pages first, have those be indexed. And if they are indexed, then why not continue? So 88 more pages. Now we're at 400 pages, 500 pages, 1,000 pages, 4,000 pages, 8,000, 19,000, 28,000, 33,000. Like it keeps going until 957,000. And that's within 1.5 months. And because it just kept on working, then of course they're just going to double down and keep going, right? So I'm going to leave a link to the SEO Avalanche technique down below, which I believe was first posted about Carter, which at Builder Society, which is an OG post, fantastic post that is still replicable, valid until today, I would say. Cool. Let's look at their backlinks, right? So interestingly enough, if we basically go for low quality links only, they have about 2,600 of those, apparently. If you're looking at non-spammy links, they got 1,000. And if we're looking at best links only, that's 126. And these are the links that are like really, really good, right? So very high DR, and also do follow if I am correct. It is interesting to see how they managed to get these links. So it's a good idea to go into OreateAI and basically look at all of their best links and see if there's any way possible for you to kind of replicate and also take those links for yourself. There's a lot of free links to be had out there. So yeah, their backlinks profile is looking kind of solid. There's not much to get here except like they managed to build a ton of backlinks. Not sure if that's on accident because people started linking to them, or if it's, I'm not sure if the traffic boner, if it's a coincidence or not. But we definitely have confirmation that if your website is in the DR 60 plus range, you can basically spam and start ranking. Pretty interesting. Now let's take a look at the actual keywords that they're ranking for, right? So as we can see, they're ranking for extremely niche keywords that you can find if you look at, for example, if you're just looking at Keyword Explorer and you search for nothing and you just have the whole list, and then you basically just go down and start looking at super low competitor score keywords with a high amount of volume where it basically doesn't even make sense. That's what I think they did. They just downloaded a whole list of these very, very unique and niche keywords like XX Brits, for example. Looking at that page, that's all they did. They just put the keyword in the title, and XX Brits is an adult website, and they write XX Brits, the new frontier of fashion and self-expression in the UK. That's not what it is, but they still managed to rank for it. So it kind of proves that if you can get an expired domain and start building links, then you should be able to basically just rank and replicate exactly what they've done. Because looking over what they've done, they've not done anything special. They don't have schema. Their whole site structure is not really good. They are literally spamming, and they are going to get penalized within a few weeks probably. But they probably already grabbed a big sack of cash and gotten their money's worth for doing this. Looking at their blog layout, like their crawl depth is humongous. I'm not even sure how. If we're looking at their sitemap, their blog posts are not even part of their freaking sitemap. Yet they are getting discovered and indexed, all of their posts. So I believe they're probably sending all of their posts to an indexer as well. But yeah, their blog is literally garbage, and yet they're still managing to rank. If we look at another example of something that works really well, that's very similar, it's Grokpedia, which is ranking articles about, it's like a Wikipedia, but with AI and integrated. And they are basically getting 1.3 million in traffic, and this is getting more by like almost 4 or 5 times as much traffic. So pretty insane. And I was looking at what could it be? Could it be like social signals? Could it be whatever? No, not really. They don't have anything on YouTube. They're not really getting any sort of traction If you look at TikTok, for example, they have a little bit, but it's not that much. If you look at Instagram, there's not really that much either. I was looking at their Trustpilot. So we were thinking a lot about how AI and how Trustpilot really digs into how the trust of a website or a company. And looking at these guys, they are ranking for 128,000 queries in ChatGPT, 8.9 thousand queries in overviews, 27,000 in Perplexity, 87,000 in Gemini. But their Trustpilot looks like shit. So yeah, I was looking at their social presence, and honestly, this is like the best social presence they had on Mastodon. I don't know if you know anybody who's using Mastodon. I know I'm posting to it, but it's not really that good. So there's not a lot of social traction either. So basically what we're looking at, what they did, how they did it. Here's the playbook that I believe that they used. And it is a classic playbook that apparently fucking works in 2026. They started with getting an expired domain, or they built up their domain from scratch. They then downloaded a metric ton of keywords in no particular order, as long as it had low competition and high volume traffic potential. It basically means that if they manage to rank for at least one and get a little bit of traffic and engagement on their site, then perhaps, just maybe, they could start ranking for other things as well. So they built an automation that'll build articles around all of these keywords. And I mean, to be fair, they are an essay and article website, so they could probably just use their internal technology to make this possible. And the publishing strategy, publish in a frequency according to SEO Avalanche. I strongly believe that they basically started going for higher target and harder keywords, the more traffic they managed to get. Or second alternative is that once they started seeing that those pages they published started to get indexed, they just posted more because they are getting that crawl and they are getting indexed. So why not post more and get even more pages indexed so that they can then feed the traffic loop of that they're having. Link building, they built more links to their page, or they got links because they managed to rank. I think they managed to get a lot of spam links as well, because if we're looking at their top pages, a lot of their pages have spammy links to them. And because of the sheer volume of, if we look at this, for example, this is pretty interesting. If you look at their top pages, cool. So let's look at their top pages and we can see the referring domains. And then look at the pages that have referring domains, right? A lot of these pages had referring domains to them, and the referring domains are spam websites. But if you're getting a ton of links, no matter if they are spam, across your whole website, that must signal something to some degree, even if it is spam. Especially if you're launching 950,000 pages, then the spam link to page ratio is low enough for that to be seen in a different kind of light. And that is my prediction. That is not by far not anything that's confirmed, but that is my preference basically. Continuing on this, they do YouTube. They did some YouTube. I think this is always a worthwhile investment to do YouTube. And if you can do YouTube at scale, if you can integrate AI at scale to do YouTube for you in a way that does get retention, then congratulations, you are going to make a lot of money. They did some PR and got social signals. They did have some influencers post about their stuff. But honestly, I think they did not put a lot of effort into this one. I think they put all of their effort into these 4 steps, and they profited from that. So that's my overview of what OreateAI has done, and it'll be fun to track their progress and see where they're at in a few months. Thank you very much. If you're looking forward to some more videos, make sure you subscribe or follow my page. Take care. Ciao, ciao.